you, Shadel, for the introduction and welcome. Okay, and so before we move ahead, like I'm sure you all must be dealing with in some way or the other, right, about finances. So today we're going to check out something. So before we start, I want to start with an activity for all of you. And how I'm going to do it is that I'm going to ask all of you. So before we start the activity, let me set the context for it. I'm going to ask all of you to close your eyes, right? And I will be telling a few, I'll be saying a few things. So I want you all to follow my instructions, and whatever I ask or whatever I say, there will be some questions or things. Whatever comes to your mind when I'm saying those, just keep it in your mind. Let those pictures come into your mind, and just get present to whatever it is. At the end of the activity, I will give maybe one or two people to share with us what did they experience. I think maybe we'll take one because of the keeping in mind the time. What did they experience? What did they feel? And then we will take it from there. Okay. So no cheating, and I'm inviting all of you to participate in this activity wholeheartedly. So it's like, yeah, I think Shadel has asked everyone if you could put your cameras on, it would be a real help, right? So then I would know exactly whether you'll have closed your eyes or no. Okay, so here we go. And just give me a minute. I'm a little all over the place with my cameras. Okay, so let's start. I can only see Swapnalita. Oh, I see Aishwarya there. See, I love to see faces, because then it gives a lot of interaction. And one of the things about this topic which I'm doing and the classes which I take, I make sure that, because it has to be live and interactive. Otherwise, you don't know. Just black screens, you can't make out the emotions. You can't make out the even if you don't open your mouth or share, that is fine. Even if you're not paying attention, is fine. But when I see your face, I can make out whether it is registering or no. Okay. And वैसे क्या बोलते हैं, दिल तो बच्चा है, all of us are बच्चas. Yet, even if we are having a gray hair, we are all bachas. Okay. So I'm going to take your and through this adventure. So let's start. I'm assuming all of you are in attention. So close your eyes. Okay. All of you, please close your eyes and listen to the what I'm going to be telling. Imagine yourself as an 8-year-old. What did you know about money? Was it easily available in your home? What about your friends and neighbors' home? Now, imagine yourself as a 15-year-old. What are the conversations of money around you? Was it easily available to you? Okay. Now let's imagine yourself as a 22-year-old. What do you know about money? From whom did you learn about it? As a 22-year-old, what do you know about money, and from whom did you learn about it? Now cut to the present day. What do you wish you had known about money? Right? What do you wish you had known about money, and what would have been different? So yeah, now slowly you can open your eyes, come back to your, come back to where we are. And who wants to share? Any one person who wants to share quickly, just point to point, just a synopsis of what did you really experience? I don't want, if you are going into a long-winded story, I may cut you short. So go ahead. Who wants to share? Yes, Swapnaleka. So you'll find me, what do you say? This partial to people who have with the cameras on. Okay. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so I remember that as an 8-year-old, I was just trying to see what class I must have been. And I possibly just knew that my parents were spending a whole lot of money to put me in the best school in town. And that it was such a difficult thing. And I would remember that if the school bus didn't come, then my mom would take me in a rickshaw and come back walking because she would have to save that money. When I was a 15-year-old, I remember that one kept FDs in the bank and you had to deposit money. And if you didn't, good people all have deposits in the bank, and there's a recurring and there's a fixed deposit and there's a savings bank. I didn't know any other kind of things which was there. And then when I was 22, then that was the time that I went into my first job, and I remember that engineering happened and there was campus, and then the first salary which was there and all that kinds. That's what I could remember, that there wasn't too much of money being talked. Scarcity was the underlying thing of my experience. That's that I recall.
Yeah. And what would have been, better, like if you had known how to handle money?
Well, on that count, I think I'm pretty good. I'm good because I think that whatever values that I had from an early childhood, I've never spent much. I have saved, and I would rather give the money away than spending it on wrong things.
Okay, got it. So yeah, so can I say, so thank you for sharing, Swapnaleka. And if I were to put it in context, it is like, if you see, all of us, we've never had this topic called financial literacy in school. Did any one of you have? No, they never taught us. Whatever we learned was from what we saw, how our parents were managing it, or like Swapnaleka said, it's either the lack of it, or when she was like 22, and if you see the ages 8, 15, 22, is when those are the times where you didn't have money, and 22 is like, I'm presuming that you have started working and earning your own money, and then you are left with, how do you spend? And that time, because you didn't have money throughout, like as a child, no one gave you money in your hand to handle. You said, okay, when I get money, I will do, it's either two extremes. If I get a lot of money, I will spend it or I will save it. It is either way, and this is all human brain working. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah.
So, Beena, you've taken us all down the memory lane. My question to you is that as adults, we today understand the importance of money. But as parents, there's no clear science in place to sort of, get children to master money management as a habit. So what is the advice that you would give us to get the basics right with our children?
Okay. So if you see, how do we do, like, talking about money, it's not like one fine day you get up and say, say maybe it's good, get everyone around the dinner table and say, okay, today we're going to talk about money. It is not like that way. Money conversations have to be ongoing. Right? You can't just because if we don't teach, and if you will see, it is also about mastering money habits. Because if you're not mastering your money habits, what would happen? How much time do we take to spend, like we as parents, we all are parents over here. And as parents, what we do? Like, how do we teach our children anything? We are always having them, like if it is brushing the teeth, we are telling them, from when they are small, we're telling them how to brush the teeth. We make sure that they are doing it properly. And even if the child is like, say, 10 years or 15 years, the first thing you ask is, have you brushed your teeth? It is about mastering the habit, right? Same way, imagine Like some of you may think, I don't, my child is so small, how can I talk? He doesn't earn money, or he only gets this, kya bolte hain, ghar mein you get these, what do you call?
Pocket money or
pocket
shagun.
money, or
Lifafas or from
shagun
relatives,
lifafas and things like that. So that is the money, or maybe the tooth fairy like thing which we try to indulge in, or the Father Christmas and things. But the thing is that whether your child is earning or not, now is a good time to start teaching them about money, all about money and how to manage it, because the mastering of the habit is more important than the amount. So before I close, I will just say one more thing. Imagine if your child loves cricket, okay, and he wants to become like Sachin Tendulkar, who wants to be the best batsman. And if you have put him, you want him, you also invested in that dream of his, and you want him to be a amazing cricketer. You put him in the best cricketing school, and you go there, and what do you see? Like, you take him, you bought the best kit and all, and you have dropped him to this to play. But you know what? You forgot to pack the bat. Now imagine, you want him to be the best batsman like Sachin Tendulkar, but you have not given him the bat. How can he practice? Right? It's the same way with money. If we don't give the children money in their hands, right? Now, I'm not talking about giving them, notes and things and all, but I'm just creating a context here. If we don't allow our children to make mistakes or learn, about managing money, maybe we need to start with, say, 5 rupees, 10 rupees, 50 rupees, 100 rupees, or whatever it is according to their age. If we don't teach, somebody else will.
Yeah.
And that's not a risk you want to take, right?
Yes.
So it's best to set them up right from the start, right? So that they can win with money at any age.
Yeah.
And our job as children is, as parents, is that we instill strong money habits to them, right? So we tell them or teach them how to manage money. And like Swapnalekha also touched on the word values and principles led her in good stead.
Yeah.
When she was, ready with managing money. Right?
So, while we understand that the right way to go about is to enable children to inculcate money management as a strong habit, can you also help us outline some fundamental concepts that will sort of help the next generation master prudence like second nature?
Yeah. So if you would see the main thing that we all, okay. So first of all, I want you all to get it, like as parents, see, we ourselves, so you want to show some love to yourself too. We also didn't learn, we learned it on the go.
Yeah.
Right? So you want to take this financial literacy education as a team game. Family as a unit, as a team. Okay? And you want to also inculcate those same habits along with your children.
Yeah.
So there are 5 financial rules, roughly, like I would say, which is, one is identifying what are needs and what are our wants, right? Getting clear on what is really essential and what is like, a luxury or, a liberty or a this, and how much are you able to do that? So the distinction between needs and wants. The next rule is creating that money isn't free, right? Money doesn't come on trees. Money isn't free. You work 8 hours or 10 hours or whatever it is that it takes for you to go to work and come back, and then you put in that for the whole month, and at the end of the month you get a pay packet, right? How can we inculcate that to the children? It just doesn't come like, you're not shaking a tree, or you're not, the bank doesn't just give you for free. The next thing is earn before you spend. Now, this is something can actually be an eye-opener, right? Because if you see the current consumerism and the current trends that are there, is all out to make us spend. They have make you spend, like there's this latest fad, especially after COVID. The travel industry wants people to spend money like hell. So they are like, you travel now and pay later. Right? If you see, it is it is spend before you earn. And that's like a pitfall there, right? So there's earn before you spend. You have to create that, like, how can you, like the children, they do not earn. So how can we make them get that value? That needs to be seen, right? Allow kids to make, that's the fourth one. Allow kids to make mistakes. See, what we do is we are so scared about them. We don't want them to, especially when it comes around money, we are all so touchy about it that we don't even want them to fail, or we don't. I mean, if you look at the mark system and this, we want everything has to be success. We never want them to fail, or they never want them to do poorly, right? All these things actually is giving into a culture of not to make mistakes. Baba, let children make mistakes. And let them make mistakes when they are with you. You are there to take care of them. They are not out on their own now, right? Teach them to budget. That is, if you see earn before you spend, the last one is teach them budgeting. How they can, maybe they need to put down some of their wishes and they do not have to, immediately gratify it, but they need to delay it, and then it would be worth it, like that, right? So these are certain things, and there could be pitfalls or drawbacks. I know as parents, it would be this. So
yeah, because that's what I was coming to. When it comes to outlining rules or forming new habits as a family, especially in joint families, there are a lot of internal dynamics that come into play, and they could act as deterrents in changing the overall thought process. So I was coming to that. How do you suggest we tackle such issues?
See, I mean, each family is different, okay? And each one would have to make their own set of rules. So sometimes what we find the pitfalls is that one spouse is not supporting the other, right? So one mother wants to be teaching the child financial prudence, but the husband is like, I don't know, we can afford it. What is there, right? One spouse is more lenient and saying, let him be. It can be anyway, okay? Not mother, father. It can be anyone.
Could be grandparents as well, yeah.
Yeah, grandparents too. So you are doing in a joint family, and then the parents are like, okay, we, because my parents were like this, let me teach them. And the grandparents, no. Children, they are children. No, let them enjoy, right? And there goes all your plans. Now, the other biggest pitfall is you people have made the rules. You've made the rules. But there are times when we don't want to follow through. We want to be left on our own. We don't want to this. And we only flout the same rules that we have made. We say no lays and no this. But because we are lazy to cook, that is, okay, take money, go buy your lays, and right? So we are not following through the rules that we have made. Or else the most, common thing which I hear is children are stubborn and they don't listen. Now, this is something which we'll have to really introspect. Why did children become stubborn and not listening, right? I think the previous pitfalls which I have shown you, I think we'll have to introspect why they have become stubborn and not listening.
So, while you're walking us through these challenges that we might probably face in the process, and as you said, each family is unique, and this is something that we need to sort of introspect and customize according to our setup. Is there a broad mental model that parents can use to have this conversation in an age-appropriate manner with their children? If you could just, break it up, in buckets of different age groups, and give a very broad mental model there.
Yeah. So see, the thing is, children, there's this question I'm often asked: how young is too young? Sometimes they say children are so small. How can you teach them about money? They need to be children and all that. But you want to get, the research says that children get to know what is less, more, the concepts, right? Of less, more, multiplication, division, and all. They already get to know it by the age of 3. And by the age of 8, they are, the mathematical side, or majorly the human mind is already set, the patterns in the brain are set of what kind of a human being that child is. So if I'm to say how to teach the child, how do we do that? You have to do it ongoingly, right from when they're small. I mean, there's this recently someone talking about, I think on the radio it was, they were talking about mobiles to the children, right? So they're saying that mobile, very soon the child will come, the children, एक child के साथ एक 12 MB pad free, iPad free, like that way, right? So let's start, like, if you to really look at, if the child is small, say maybe at the ages of 3 to 5, you got to create with them that you can't buy everything you want, because that is the age when your child, you take them to the shopping or to any shop or toy shop or even a grocery shop. They would want the chocolates, they would want the Lays, they would want the jam biscuit or the chocolate biscuit or whatever it is. So they want everything that they see. So that is the time where you can actually talk to them and say that you can't buy everything. Maybe you have, say, a 50 rupee note. Okay, this is just one way. Okay, I'm just not this. You will have to create it ongoingly and say that this 50 rupees and you can buy whatever you can get for that and nothing more. The main thing is over here is, if I as parents would be, is communication. Right? So now if you're coming to the age of 6 to 10, you can start, now they are, little elder, you can start to have them along with you and to comparison shopping, right? To figure out what are the, like, you're talking them through, when you're taking them through the department store, like, you could ask them to compare, you want to buy dal or you want to buy rice, basmati rice, imagine. So there are so many brands, right? There are branded stuff. There is the local department stuff, which is there in loose, and you buy, and what do you decide to buy, right? What is the price comparison? How do you compare? And what basis? What is the value? And yet you may think, okay, there's a birthday coming up and things, and everyone in the family loves pulao. So you want to buy the India Gate branded basmati rice. So you give that logic to the child. Why is it that you are doing that? Why have you deviated from that? Like, you are buying something which is value for money, and then you go and buy a branded stuff. But why did you do that? You give them the logic for it, right? I'm sure when you are listening to this, you would always think, when I was small, either my parents were doing it or were not doing it, if someone had told me, right? Now, when they go on to ages 11 to 12, right? If you see, they start looking at people around them. Now, from the family, they started looking outward, right? They've got to be social. They started looking at their friends and neighbors, school friends and neighbors and all. And they're seeing that they are having different things in their family. Why can't we have it? So that's a time when you will have to start talking about, the different values of family.
Yeah.
Different families on different social strata, financial strata, or whatever it is. And it is not that everyone is created equal. Maybe you need to really use the brains to, how will you put that across to your child, right? So it can be as simple as here, it could be, I'm saying, if it is comparison about cars, okay, Mummy, why do we have a Maruti and they have a, what do you say, a Benz or a Mercedes, right? Or an Audi or something like that. So you say, I'm fine with, I'm just saying, I'm not sure, but I'm fine with the Maruti, because what is the job of a car? The job of a car is to take me from place A to place B. And that purpose is served, right? Whether it is a Maruti or a Mercedes.
Yeah.
Maybe that, that's this. And that is what I am, like, can actually have different instances where you can say we do not have to keep up with the Sharmas and the Varmas, right? Then when it comes to the age 13 and 14, I'm sure this time nowadays it would be even earlier. 6 to 10 also would say swipe the card, right? Debit cards are real as cash. They've seen you going to the ATM and taking out money, pulling out money. They've seen you swiping. They've seen you doing Paytm, right? You creating that it is as real as cash. It is your money that you have in the bank that is getting touched. It's not free. You know how banks work, right? And by the ages of 15 and 17, this is the time by when they know, you know, saving goals. They can start saving for things that they want. In fact, now I would say even from the ages 11 to 12, especially after doing courses for the children, you put them on, they are clear of what they want to save up for and how they have to save it up for, right? So like that way, so it's different ages, different tactics you have to keep using.
So Beena, you know, Indian households since ages, you know, have laid emphasis on saving. But we want to know what is a structured approach that can be followed while encouraging young children to save. Because we've understood prudence and how sort of we help young adults master prudence as a habit, or you know, do money management as second nature. But what about saving? I mean, how do we sort of?
So see, there are a few things like, you know, so normally what we do is when a child is there, small child is there, when we want them to start saving, is we first give them a piggy bank, right? And a piggy bank is something which is like a plastic house or a plastic post office or a actually piggy. But the thing is now that concept is different. Okay, I mean, time has changed. We could be fooled that way. But nowadays the child is, we are living in the 21st century. And so here seeing is believing. So it would be better to have clear glass jars. Right, and have them saving for, like, you know, separate things. Actually, when they see it in a clear glass jar, what they can actually see that when they put in, the money is increasing, right? Otherwise they can't see now. When it's not a clear jar, they can't see that the money that they're putting in is actually increasing. It's very important. So that is one concept, okay, which you can use. And if you want, you can read up on the 6-jar method of T. Harvekar, where you're talking about, you know, different amounts can be put. You can have it for this education, for savings, for toys, you know, different. That is more things, but you can have that. You can put a label to it, and the child can use that money to buy, say, toys, or for the books, or for maybe pens or things, or savings, or maybe buying the lays or whatever they want. The other thing is, you know, setting, as parents, you need to set an example. There are times, and this is not only about money matters, but everything, because the children are watching you. Whether you like it or not, they are learning from you. And more than the good things, they are learning the things which you know and you don't want them to learn, right? You tell them study time is study time and you should not be messing up and, you know, sit and do that. Like, and then during that time when they are studying, you are supposed to be giving them quality time, and then the phone comes and then you pick up the phone and answer. What is the child thinking? Array, it's okay to do that. Right? I'm not going to give a lecture on parenting, but these are small things, but they all count, right? And you would have to figure out what it is like, because knowingly or unknowingly, they are copying you. They are making mental messages, new neural patterns are being made all the time, right? Show them that stuff costs money. Of course, you saw that saving, they can see it, right? Because seeing is believing. Now, the problem with cards, we swiping cards, right? And if you see in the pandemic and this, it is fine. The political parties have told, like, you know, we're going digital and all that. But the problem with cards is you swipe, okay? You buy something, you swipe, payment is done, you get your card back and the stuff. So what are you visually seeing? That you have actually not exchanged money. And then what happens is you are in the experience that there is a lot of money and let's just swipe the card. This is that thing going to the child, right? But actually, it is that all that thing costs money. Just do one simple exercise. All the things that you bought from Amazon, or the things lying around you. This is one of the exercises I give the children in my classes. Is just look around the house and try to find out what is the price of each thing. Maybe the pencil, the pen, or the notebook. Just write down the price, and that is actual money that is lying around the house. All that is just stuff lying around the house is not stuff, but money which you have earned. Mm-hmm. Show them opportunity cost, right? Sometimes the choices that we make, right? We want to give into a McDonald's or this over home cooked food. So what are we paying with? Ill health, obesity, right? You don't want to exercise. So that is what it is. So tell them which they'll have to make choices, right? They don't want to study daily and they want to burn the midnight oil lamp, and that could be a cost on the sleep, right? By paying with sleep, with their good sleep. That is something which you can show them. That is, you would keep having opportunities for that, right? And here I would say, for us, it's very easy when we're talking in English. And when I've done research to teach and talk about this subject, all I've seen is some things which are there abroad. Okay, there's a lot of material abroad, but there's nothing pertaining to India. And my endeavor is to make it more and more relevant to our Indian context. Okay, got it. So we will have to keep doing things and saying things, and I'm like open to any one of you sharing also, right? There are things like giving commissions and not allowances. So sometimes we do not have the concept of pocket money, though we are aping the West and we are getting pocket money and things like that. But most of the households don't believe. What we do is we can afford, we just buy and give it to the church, right? So we are at the cost of what? At the cost of our children not learning the basic money, life skill of money management. Mm-hmm. Right? We are not letting them know that in the house, that there are things to be done in the house. And those things are to be done as a team. Everyone needs to chip in. Housework is not only the domain of the mom, or not only the domain of the maid or people around, the people who help us, right? Because that is where, this thing about commissions or pocket money or allowances fails, because the child can turn back to you and say, I'm not doing it, I don't want that money. Because why? He can get it otherwise also, or he may not feel like it. Then the other thing is avoid impulse buying. You see the sales and the this and that, and you tell them we will not spend and all that. But the moment you see a sale, or maybe you're scrolling on this, you see 50% off and you go and book and buy it, right? Here, I would ask you to look at, things don't cost money. They actually cost the time of your life. Think of it like that way. You put in n number of hours to get a certain amount of money. That number of hours are hours of your life. You're paying with hours of your life to get that XYZ amount of money at the end of the month as pay packet. So when you're paying money now, imagine how many hours of your life you are paying with. Okay. I know I'm sounding very morose and this, but I really want you to get impulse buys. Stress the importance of giving. Of course, here we do a lot of that, right? Donation and charity and all. But here I would want to caution, it's not about feeding the poor or feeding, giving them biscuits and donating clothes and things like that. It's not only about that. It is also, you can donate through giving your time, volunteering, charity, right? And stressing the importance, maybe doing something, just doing good deeds, right? Can be there. It's not necessarily only with money. And you actually following through on that, teaching them contentment. I think this is something which we all have forgotten, right? Wanting what you have, not having what you want, right? It's sometimes it's just a decision to be happy with what I have. That is something which we need to inculcate with the child and for ourselves. Get them saving for college, actually asking them questions. What do you want to be? Here, I would like to say, before I move, I think I want to say this thing. And normally, maybe, pardon me if you have seen kids somewhere on the slide, but normally I would not say kids or bachas or this. Because the moment when we say kids, we are making them small. Think of them as young people like you and me. The only thing is that they came in little late in life. Okay, you came in first. But they are also thinking people, just like you and me. They also have a life. And I'm sure as young children, when you were talking to your parents, there were times when you wanted to say something and you say, "Chup beta, tum to bacche ho," and you got hurt, right? Same thing you are doing with and you listen to what they are saying, you will get so impressed by the ideas they have, the different things they come up with. That is why that is the best thing why I like to take the classes, for them, because they come up with such lovely ideas of what to do, what not to do. Give them a free hand and they will come up with such, just asking them questions. What do you want to do? What would you do if you had this? The answers they come up with. I have parents sitting in the classes with me sometimes. They have their own rules where they are not supposed to talk. The parents then come back to me and say, "I'm surprised my child has told," because they are like always, "Mera bachcha na usko kuch nahi aata, wo bolta nahi hai, shy hai," and all that. And then they are surprised how they interact with me and how they are sharing. We never taught our child to say so much or things like this, right? So it can be that you will be surprised. So, relate to them as young people rather than kids or bachas, right? Because then you're losing out. So yeah, get them saving for college. If you tell them what do they want to be, and they will tell you which college they want to go to, what they want to study, and figure out how they want to get into that, how much will be required for it, right? And as far as possible now, this is one thing as parents I would like to tell you, prepare before, pre-prepare beforehand if you can about the college funds and all those things. Because taking a loan, student loan, and and then going in, that is actually a binding on the child. When the child is gone into a first job and he gets the first month's salary, and then it hits on him that he has to repay his loan, right? That is actually a spoiler. And I know this for sure because my son has had this one. He was like, "Ye kabhi nahi karna chahiye," right? And he's right now the happiest because finally we have paid off the whole loan, right? And we are such Indians, we are such this that we want to take tax benefit and all that we will keep doing that. We could have paid it off earlier, but tax benefit here, CA is telling and all this, and then we are yet carrying on with that loan. But mentally, it makes a big difference, right? Teach them the dangers of credit card. Again, this is something like debit card and credit card, how the credit cards can actually put a toss to your savings and earnings, right? Teach them in detail about it. Here again, I would say my husband was someone who would, had a fixed date of 5th of the month where he would pay off all his bills. The moment the salary comes, all his credit card bills paid, this, that. And he would tell that to, the children. The children would know what he is doing. And now they have following that same habit. My son does that. 5th of the month, he sits with his laptop and different payments. He's just doing that all. So, they are learning, right? So it is nothing goes waste. If you tell them, he knew how, you take your child every time you go to the ATM, very soon if you are not on talking terms, maybe the child would use it. I know how to use the ATM because they can figure out which is your code, right? So they are very smart. So don't take them as bachas, okay? Get them on a simple budget. Teach them, how to do budgeting, how you manage your things, how do you plan for vacations. Vacations don't just happen, right? You just don't do it at a drop of a hat. You plan for it. You figure out how it is, whether it's a birthday party, 3-4 birthdays in the family. If it is 1 month, I know that the pain, like we had from October to Jan, we had birthdays of 4 people. By Jan, when the children were small, in Feb, when we had to pay the fees, we were both of us looking at each other. Oh my God, these birthdays really kill us, right? So getting them on a simple budget, how the budgets work, how this works, right? How our family works. Introduce them to the magic of compound interest. How, if you start early, you need to save less and yet have that money without touching its compound. Teach them also how to earn money. Kari kamai, right? Figure how to earn money. Kari kamai is something which we did when we were in school, right? We would go around and help our neighbors, and we would just, whatever money they gave was something which we would earn. And then we would donate it to charity, like to the blind school or old age home, anything. Yeah, so these are some things which we can use and do, okay?
So Beena, since we're talking about teaching young minds the beauty of compounding and hence different investment avenues to sort of multiply their money and save for the college, build a corpus, etc. What are your views on exposing them to certain high risk, high return instruments like, say, the stock market? I mean, what is it that you suggest that parents should keep in mind while having these conversations?
Yeah, so see, one of the glaring things which, and I'm actually a little wary about it and worried about it, is this last pandemic, okay? Everyone was at home and we have seen, if you have been investing in the stock market, you would know that there has been a lot of stuff happening in the stock market. Wherein one point in 2020, everything was down and people didn't know, people lost jobs, people didn't know what to do. They've been rooming out their investment and things. And then since they had a lot of time in their hands and they also had a lot of money in their hands or savings in their hands, like whoever did have it, they started looking at spending the money and like they started becoming, okay, it was like half-baked knowledge. Half-baked knowledge, it can actually not, work against you. So they started looking at putting the money in, they saw investing in stocks as an avenue. Okay. And they have started asking their children also to invest in stocks. See, not that it is a problem. Okay. If you know to teach them, it has to be, the basics has to be there.
Yeah.
The basics is about the 5 stages of money, right? First of all is how to make money. Whether, they have to earn it, how to earn it, how to this or what ways, like, my children in my classes, I think have asked me this question, how do we make money? So I asked them, one child was like, what do I do, ma'am? I don't earn any money. How will I earn? So I said, what are you good at? So he said, I do Canva and all this creative work and all I can do. So I said, can you make Canva posters? He said, yes, ma'am, I can. So I said, and since I knew the mother, I said, your mom is doing reselling, right? So your mom must also be having friends who are doing that. So do you want to make some, ask your mom if anyone wants, you can make them a poster. And then maybe you could charge them, maybe that, say, start with 100 rupees, 200 rupees or something like that. That idea clicked for the child. Next week, he comes for the class. He says, ma'am, I earned my first 500 rupees. Right? So it is all in how you say, how you create it with the child. There was one child who was very shy. And her mom told me that, she will not put the camera on because she's very shy, this, that, and everything. And I also got to know that she's very much into YouTube things. Okay. I had a straight conversation with her. I said, first of all, if you're not on camera, then there's no point, right? And what is there to hide? Good, bad, or ugly, that is who you are. So what's there? Come on camera. And she came on camera and this. Then she interacted with me in the class, just that straight talk. And believe it or not, she has her own YouTube channel. And she posts every week, I think once or twice a week, maybe make some videos or whatever. There is the first, I remember one child, the first class that I had, he was so taken with this, the money management thing and saving, that he created his first book. In all this in the pandemic, okay? He became an author. He created a film, and that film won an award. He has co-authored a book with another friend of his. So he learned with his mom and figured out how to study mutual funds, and has asked his mom to save for him in mutual funds. So it can be this way or that way, but putting them into stocks, you have, as parents, need to take hold of it, because till they can in 13 or 15 years, they can do directly in mutual funds. But the thing is, are you clear? You have to be there with them in guidance. It's not that they do it on their own, right? You have to be there with them, hand holding them. That is what my this is, just not overflow, not going over. So learning about making money, then about saving. That's the next step, how to save, where to save. Just not, the new age thing is not FDs and RDs, Swapnalekha. Sorry, right? That was our time. That was all the thing. My mom made her money by just putting it in RDs and then taking that RD and putting it in FDs and letting that multiply, and that was the corpus when she retired, right? Now the age is of investing it in diverse portfolios. How to invest, where to invest, how to study, and how to multiply it. That is the fourth thing. How to multiply your money. Because if you don't know that smart thing, you may end up with actually the money in your bank, saving in your bank. Inflation will make it, it's actually not compounding, decompounding. You will find if you don't take inflation into account, you'll find that the money you have, say 1 lakh you have now, you're able to this, but that 1 lakh in 10 years time would actually be value of only say 10,000 rupees, right? We have enough of things to talk about. How a butter of 23, I remember 500 grams butter, Amul butter used to cost when we were in school. And now that same 500-gram butter costs nothing less than 250 rupees. So it's like 100 times or more than that, right? 23 rupees ka aaya, 230 rupees. So how do we multiply it? How do we make our money this multiply, and how do we make it maintain that money? So these are the 5 things we have to know: how to make, how to save, how to invest, how to multiply it, and how to maintain.
And considering we're today understanding the journey of talking money in a very structured manner with young children, a pertinent question that comes to my mind is that this conversation at home will also demand a fair level of transparency in the family. Essentially, children will be exposed to certain facts, like if you're affluent or not, or even situations if the money is tight or free, or where do they fall in the socioeconomic strata. So how do you suggest tackling this as a parent?
It's better to be open minded. Okay, now if people have, I mean, as parents, many of them have reservations. Kaise bachchon ko bole? They will get scared, they will get worried. Take it off. That is what I'm saying. Kaise bachchon ko bole to वैसे ही सोचने में आएगा. treat them as young people, people who are thinking and, adults. Only thing is they have come in a different time of the year, like, this. So they are people in a smaller body. That's it. But they are thinking and breathing and everything, doing life. If you will listen to them, they will come up with fresh idea of how you can cope up with anything that you are actually, going through.
Yeah.
So I would say, bring them, do not alarm them, tell them, have a clear conversation. I think that is what we are missing. Sometimes I watch these English movies, okay, and I want willing, especially children's movies and things, and how they have the clear conversations with the church. How they say that this is something which we said no means no, and what you can do. But we do not have that kind of conversation in our regional languages with our children. And that's something which I think we need to work on. Maybe, and then when we talk in English, actually English is quite a simple language and which we can use to have straight conversations, but we condemn it by saying, "Bada hi-fi hai, modern family hai." But, it actually gives us a leeway to have simple, straight conversations with children. And when you have those straight conversations with children, they get it. So it is not about, see, if you are thinking, and I can see from Priya's face, Priya, that lip, right? It is not about the child, whether he will get it or understand it or not. It is where you are. You want to get that, you have to have this talk with the child. Like right now, my budget doesn't allow me to have this, say maybe the iPhone you are asking for. Or my budget doesn't allow me. Maybe we can can we sit and look at how we can make this happen? Have a conversation like that way, right? So tell me, how much does this thing, that iPhone you're saying you want, how much does it cost? What is the best price? I'm just giving an example, okay? How much does it cost? So how much do you earn? What do we need to have it? Saying how much money do we need to save every month so that we can afford it. So maybe we can get it in 2024. If you save, if you save 500 rupees every month, I'll match up 500 rupees every month. Something, you have to come up with some deal. And
I think what you're trying to say, Beena, is that be honest with the child and be simple and straight. They get it since they are young adults. They do get it. You just need to be honest with them that what are you trying to get them? What's the situation as of now?
Yeah.
And considering the fact again that you said that you may not get everything at that point that you want. Again, going back, checking that fact, and you really can get it at this point, they get it all. Be honest and straightforward.
And whenever you get the opportunity, like, you will know yourself when you have told them something and you are doing something of the opposite, you will know that, right? And you could actually say, you could be vulnerable. Say, you know what? I told you I can't afford it. And you know what? I was about to buy this thing. And then I realized that, that we can't afford it right now. So I am keeping it aside. You can also be vulnerable, na? You can also show your side. यार मुझे भी लगता है ऐसा लेना, मुझे भी करने का मन करता है, पर अभी हमारा बजट अलाउ नहीं करता है. We need to work for it for another 5 years. Maybe we need to, let's invest in experiences. That's what I want to leave you with. See, invest in experiences rather than things and objects and stuff. Start creating that. Experiences are more the things in things than a new dress or a new toy or a new gizmo or the latest car or a 4-bedroom house. Yeah, that's it. I don't know. Anyone has any questions?
Yeah, we can actually open for the audience. Any questions? Anyone?
I think it was a very detailed and nice session, and questions which people might have had also probably got answered, Moksha, because you put them all very pertinent and nicely. And I think it would have answered all questions that parents, and that's why we don't have any questions coming into the chat box. It's not usual.
Okay.
So thank you, Beena, for your time. It was a very, very enriching session. And I have, and I'm sure.
Sorry to interrupt. I have a question, small question which just came to my mind, Beena.
Yes.
You know, a lot of parents I talk to today, or around us, do feel that this, entitlement thing among kids is getting built up, and the demands, the entitlement. How do you deal with? Is it too much to talk every time if you tell them the value of money, or you put down the ask? So how much is enough to talk? And this whole idea of entitlement, how do you deal with it? Because it is somewhere related to how you talk to them or how you put forward this whole finance part. The kids are becoming, entitled to things rather than working towards things. So have you any thoughts around that?
Actually, I'm feeling like laughing, because, and this is something I want to share. I'm sure you all will all get it. Especially since we have been talking about entitlement, right? In our discussions also it came up. Last week, my cat, okay, you all know I have a cat, and my cat decided that, it had enough. We have just shifted from a ground floor flat to a 8th floor flat. And enough, like when my daughter took him out for a walk on the ground, some reason he went off the leash and he got scared. And because the cars and men coming and all that, so he got scared and he went into the bushes and hid. Now she did a lot of stuff to get him in, because for her it was like a small child and he doesn't know, a cat, he has not seen the world outside. He gets everything ready made, right? He gets the best food, the cat food, right? Whether it is fish or tuna or chili, chicken or whatever. He gets water. The water, he'll see the water, and if the fresh water, right? If there is something fallen on the water, he will not drink. He'll want us to change it and give him fresh water. He will sleep on the bed with us, with his head on the pillow, like that. And now this person goes and he stays and he doesn't come. And when she tried to put him into the bag and get him, he actually got wild and he scratched her. And, it started bleeding. So she came back. Then finally I said, if this is it, then let him stay, let him be there, right? What else can you do? And you can't even talk, right? Children, you can talk. But this animal, you can't even talk. You can't. We let him be. We were, of course, very upset. Next day morning, she went down, she called out and all. He came, but people are coming and going. He was getting scared and going back. Almost 24 hours. Okay. That day evening, around 6:37. Finally, when it got dark, she called out to him. He came. And she just, showed him some food and put him into the bag and brought him up. He was shivering, okay? And he came back, and you won't believe how we gave him food, how we ate it, because for 24 hours, no food, no water, so scared, he couldn't sleep, right? And this is the epitome of entitlement. Why I'm sharing this is, actually, this is entitlement, right? The cat was totally entitled to fresh food, fresh, he loved the bed, he loved the pillow, right? And this is how, if we need to show our child, this is something like a lesson for if ever children around me, they would know that this is entitlement, if you have to do it on your own. So for that, like I'm sure you would have all got some pointers, right? If the children, let the children make mistakes, let them know how to go around. I remember, I personally, it is all about making them do it, right? My child had to go, my son had to go for, I was with Landmark and we had some seminar sessions. So from Gurgaon to Delhi. Now, how would he go? Now, husband takes the car and goes. I am at work over there. How would the child go when he comes back from school? So I told him, you will lock the door. But one day I came in early. You will lock the door, keep the key in your pocket, go, take an auto, Go to the metro station. Metro station, this is how you pick up the card. Okay, I mean, you this and refill your card, and this is how you use the card. Go to the metro station, get down from here, from there, how you go. And this is how the child did his whole sessions, 10 sessions. He became the leader in his school. He's saying, wow, man, your parents allow you. My parents will not allow. The car driver will come, drop me, pick me up. I can never think of going on my own. If you do not, it is something like you will have to place confidence in them. You will have to give them the leeway to make mistakes. Have them experience things for themselves. So I know he is responsible. I make him responsible. So I could send him off to UK for his 5 years of studies. And I have not gone over there to the UK myself. He had to figure out on his own how he'll cook, how he'll sleep, how he'll eat. So I don't know. I hope it answers you, Priya, about entitlement. It's a ongoing thing, right? We will have to not lose out on the opportunity, but inside of not saying, see, did I say that to you, but actually giving them instances where they can learn. You showing them, not pointing out the entitlement, but actually, the other way, I don't know if this would help. I would watch serials with my children and I would tell them, what does this mean? We would actually have a discussion on that. Do you think it is right or do you think it is wrong? What are the values? Is it okay? I don't know. It was what was this, the soldier, or I'm not sure. So it was about youngsters and they were kissing and this and that. So we actually had a conversation about it. Right? And there's nothing to hide. Kissing is natural. Having a boyfriend or girlfriend, fine, you can have. I do not have a problem. Are you ready to do that? I don't know if I answered your question.
Somewhat, but I think, it's okay to actually tell them through stories as well and put them into situations also to make them understand. And as well, yes, allowing mistake is okay, but from the entitlement point of view, I'm not sure. It's about getting and giving things every time they want. I think it's an ongoing process which we need to check.
So entitlement, you will actually have to get them to earn the money for that, right? You can actually have them say, if it is 500, if it is 1,000 rupees, okay, they are in that budget, 1,000 rupees, then you tell them, okay, if you earn 500 rupees, I will match up the next 500 rupees. That's it. You can't, like, suppose if they have a this birthday party or a birthday gift needs to be given, you can tell them that this is the part that I will give. If you want to give a gift of 1,000 rupees to your friend, 500 is what I will fund. 500, you figure out how you will earn that 500 rupees.
I get it.
Right? Because then only they will get to know that money doesn't come in for free. Right? So I've given, I think, a lot of pointers wherein you would actually get how you can. So you will have to start putting your thinking caps, and please do share with me also what are you thinking of doing, especially in the Indian context. I want to create this more and more. I am thinking. In fact, I've just found a new person where I can actually get for the youngsters from 3 to 6 years old. Having a book, life skills for children from 3 to 7 years. I don't know if you can see it. So in that, there is actually all about money, because parents can't give money physically, right? How will they learn about it? So it is actually Indian rupees and paise, which they can see and learn. There are stickers and things so that they can learn from the age of 3 to 6. So I'm looking at coming up with more of what I am teaching in the classes to them.
Thank you.
Maybe with new books. Yeah.
So thank you, Beena, for such an enriching session. I think what I've personally taken away is that it's a continually evolving process. It's something that you start early with the child, and there's a lot of work, and it's always work in progress till they sort of mature and become adults themselves. So everyone out there, Beena also takes classes where she works with young children and lays the foundation of mastering money management as a habit.
So normally where in that I have sessions right now, I don't, very soon I'll be announcing. So I usually have 6 sessions for the children from 8 to 15-year-olds, 14-year-olds. And what we do is one session I have for the parents, and these are the topics mostly which I cover with them and support for the parents, and 5 sessions for the children where we cover what is money, the history of money, needs and wants, the distinction of needs and wants, then how to create spending plans or budgeting, then how do banks work, and how does the power of compounding work, and also how to create their future goals, financial goals, and create a vision board. So these are the things that I covered in this.